How's it going, everybody? Breezy here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get anywhere, don't forget, if you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button and drop a like on the video as well. Now, it's come a little bit earlier than I anticipated. It is an update, a Season 2 roundup of the Strike Circle Challenge with Southampton. There's been some developments. Yep. God, it didn't go well, viewers. It hasn't gone well. So yeah, we got sacked. The second season went about as bad as it probably could have done, to be honest. So Southampton actually ended up finishing 11th in the league, which is, I mean, great for them, I guess. Great for Roger Schmidt, who took over after me. But yeah, we were 16th, I think, when we got the boot. You're probably thinking, how on earth did this happen? Let me show you. So just for more context, I've literally just stopped streaming, so this is the direct aftermath of the downfall of my career at Southampton. As you can see, in terms of the Premier League, let me just fill this out quickly. As you can see then, yeah, the Premier League season did not go well. Despite getting off to a flying start by battering Norwich on the opening day of the season, things went just from bad to worse, really. The three defeats here, we played well in. Like, genuinely, we really did. It was just one of them, just didn't take our chances. We're quite unlucky. Weren't very good in September. Really wasn't great in October. Defensively, we were an absolute mess. Got a win against Tottenham before back-to-back defeats against Everton and Chelsea. Then got a win against Wolves. It was around this point, I think, when we drew against Leeds, I believe it was. We got a meeting because the club got taken over and got a new owner. And our manager, Raymond's on like a D at this point. And then we got called into a meeting. They wanted to know why the performance was so bad. I asked for give me one more month, which they did, and the obvious results are there. The 1-1 with Sheffield United, the 1-0 defeat to Norwich, who were bottom at the time. It's never really going to do much to give you the vote of confidence. But then, annoyingly, as you can see, the last 3 games that we had in charge, well, last 4 actually, because doesn't take into account the FA Cup tie against Aston Villa as well, which we won 3-0. So we got 2 back-to-back 3-0 wins coming against West Ham and then Villa in the Cup. A really unlucky defeat to Manchester City. We missed so many chances in this game. Adeyemi. In these sort of games, you get like about 1 chance, probably. You get about 1 chance. That was the chance. Eze, Adeyemi, Tony, Ward-Prowse. He's in again, viewers. Yes, just get him off. Just get off the pitch, mate. Honestly, you're a joke. And then our final act as Southampton manager was beating top of the league, Liverpool 2-1. Yeah, where do we go? How do I explain this then? Let's start with the signings. Sergio Rico obviously made his move permanent. Rico Henry was signed from Brentford as a backup left back. Lucas Sukic, a really good young up-and-coming midfielder, was brought in to play backup to Ross Barkley, who ended up moving on. Because we brought in Dominic Szoboszlai. Great signing. He was another one. Very inconsistent. Wasn't as good as I thought he would be. Omar Saleh has another extra centre-back option. You know, very highly rated this year on FM. I had a lot of issues with him again this year. Again, just consistency, and not a lot of it. He wasn't that great, really. I think his heading's gone up since I've left. That's interesting. I saw him miss so many headers from corners and crosses. And then Adeyemi was brought in the January to try and, because again, scoring goals was such a big problem for us. Like Julian Alvarez, his form dropped off massively last season. Ivan Toney started the season well and just got worse and worse as the season went on. Raspadori is another player that we did bring in. Oh yeah, there's more here. So Eze, we brought in from Crystal Palace, who got relegated as like a backup to Almada. Eze ended up playing loads of games because Almada was another one. Just every game he played this season, he was dropping like 6.2, 6.1s. He was terrible. Raspadori, very hit and miss. He was great in the Europa Conference League. In the Premier League, he'd scored the odd goal here and there, but never really got going. Essentially, what I think happened, I think us finishing 7th and qualifying for the Europa Conference League kind of screwed us in a way. And what I mean by that is because we finished 7th and we were going into Season 2, which you all know is the year of the Qatar World Cup, I think, one, having to play so many games in such a tight amount of time pushed our squad to the limits. I also think that finishing 7th, we overachieved so much that our expectations going into next season, I mean, it's kind of what I wanted as well, was to finish top half. Sort of anywhere between 10th and like 7th, really, I'd have been really happy with. But because we got off to such a bad start, really, that's Southampton's squad. Probably bottom half. I know we've got players like Szoboszlai, Adeyemi, Alvarez, like good players. I say they should bottom half. We should have done much better. But really, the crux of the whole thing is that there were so many games where just defensively, there was nothing I could do tactically to solve some of the defensive issues we're having. Like, so many goals conceded from corners, so many missed headers, like this one. Another cross. So many sitters missed, like these. Oh, and Tony's blasted it into bloody Ipswich. Not to mention as well, we streamed a couple of nights ago as of recording this, and we must have hit the woodwork at least 10, 12 times across the entire stream. Need some support. Where? I mean, Livermental ID is the guy who's supporting. Dominic. Come on! Taking far too long. Ward-Prowse. Are we there? Yes, Dominic. Oh my God, are you joking? We've hit the bar again! Ward-Prowse corner, here we go. Tony. We've hit the crossbar again, viewers. Cross it. Raspadori. It's getting beyond the joke now, viewers. It sounds like I'm making excuses, but ultimately, we couldn't keep goals out and we couldn't put goals in the opposition's net. It's as simple as that, really. It sounds very Michael Owen-esque. But if you're not scoring goals and you can't keep clean sheets, then you're obviously not going to win a lot of games. And ultimately, we paid the price for that. Tactically, I can't really show you what we did because I'm still without a club at the moment. We'll touch on that in a second because I know there's a bit of an elephant in the room regarding one of the rules of the challenge, but we'll talk about that towards the end. So as you can see, we started off the season playing the system we played last year that was so successful for us. And then when it stopped being successful, we tried a few different things and we just couldn't get a level of consistency. Like, we tried the 5 for a little bit, that sort of worked for a bit and then stopped working. Went to a 4-3-3 with 3 strikers. That worked for a little bit and then stopped working. Went back to the 5. And going back to the 5 is probably where we looked at our best. And maybe, if I had one real regret, we probably should have stuck with it, if I'm being completely honest. The fact we were conceding too many goals, and we were struggling to defend as much as we were. Sticking with that 5 at the back probably was a sensible option, and maybe trying to bring in a better centre back in the January. But some of the luck we were having, like the January period was so rough, I was just kind of, like, just defeated. I don't know. It's not something that's really happened to me so far this year on FM, where I've just felt completely defeated by a team and by a squad of players that I've had. Like, it just felt like everything bad that could have gone against me was going against me, and when you're in a rut like that, I think anyway, it's quite difficult to turn it around. So then, what does this mean for the future of the save? Obviously, one of the main rules of the Sir Alex Ferguson challenge is that if you get relegated or you get sacked, the save is over. However, we obviously are in a position where that can't happen anymore. I was obviously never going to just re-add myself as manager because it's just like, that will always be hanging over me. It's just like, well, you just re-added yourself. It's basically cheating. It's no different from reloading after a defeat, right? But also, I'm in a situation where, if I'm being brutally honest, this is a save that I'm streaming over on Twitch. I've recently just ended a save after just 5 years. I don't feel like it's good for the people who watch me over on Twitch, and even for the sake of just doing this, like doing these recaps for YouTube, I don't think it makes much sense for me just to start again from season 1, sim forward again to November 5th and take another club on and just hit the reset button. I think what we're going to do is, because there is no jobs available in the Premier League at the moment, we're basically going to sim forward, probably to around November again, and we're just going to go again, but in the same universe. Obviously, again, I know that, like, one of the rules of the challenge is that, you know, the whole point of the challenge is that Alex Ferguson, again, you stay at a club for 26 years. And I would have loved nothing more than for that to be the case, but it just, for whatever reason, it might, me not being good enough, like, with this squad of players, the game going against me and luck going against me, whatever, like, it just wasn't meant to be. But now there's a bit of narrative. We're going to go to a new club, we're going to try and keep them up from relegation next season, and we're going to go again, and we are going to make a real go at being at a team for about 20 odd years and turning him into a powerhouse and still try and win the same amount of trophies that Alex Ferguson did. And look, Alex Ferguson was nearly sacked when he first took over Manchester United, and managers were afforded way more time back then. So, you know, that goes against me as well. But in all seriousness, I hope you guys understand the decision. Like, it just doesn't feel right for me just to load up a new save and start from scratch. I'd much rather keep it in the same universe. We've now got Southampton down as a team that we're always going to want to try and beat and humiliate at every opportunity. So for narrative reasons, that works for me as well. For me, as someone who creates content around Football Manager, that's something I'm very, very aware of, is that I want to try and create like a good story with my saves. And being sacked 2 seasons into a challenge where you're meant to stay at one club is definitely an interesting story. And again, if you're not already following me on Twitch, at twitch.tv/m_breezy, make sure you're following. The streams are generally a lot of fun. If you haven't tuned into one yet, make sure you do, because like even when it's not going well for us, sorry, they are a ton of fun. So there's the recap for season 2. It's going well, isn't it? As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're as intrigued to see where this save takes us as I am, and I will see you in the next video, and hopefully in a stream very, very soon. Until then, I've been M Breezy. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.